Welcome to the October Tiger News Show. I hope you are all ready for the golden and orange colors and cold weather of fall. Now, onto a play piece with Madeline.
Hey guys, I'm Madeline Todd, and today I'll be talking about the fall musical Annie. Based on a popular comic strip originally started in 1924, Annie tells the story of a little orphan from a terrible orphanage who ends up in the lap of luxury with Depression-era billionaire Oliver Warbucks. The two, along with Warbucks' secretary Grace, deal with the mean orphanage owner Miss Hannigan and the shady criminals Rooster and Lily, all while both dealing with inner problems. Annie wanting to find her parents, and Warbucks realizing that his life may be changing because of Annie entering. The production will be November 9th and 10th, held in our very own Martin Snodgrass Auditorium. Tickets will be on sale soon, and we hope to see you there.
FFA does a lot for the school and community, but they also do competitions. This month, they had range judging. Logan Fiskus played 6th, Alex Benson placed 2nd, Colby Sherbert placed 3rd, and Ethan Alquist didn't place. But they placed 1st at the state competition. Dairy judging also did very well, placing 1st at district. Lane Musselman placed 1st, Ryan Bimfer placed 4th, Peyton Blackwood placed 16th, Jay Lee Calloway placed 21st, Reese Gear placed 26th, and Lane Bloom placed 38th. FFA has started with parliamentary procedure and ritual practice. Last year, the Par Law team placed 4th at state convention, but one of the judges thought that we should have gotten 3rd. I'm still a little bitter about that. We hope that we do well this year and hopefully place in the top 3. 8 FFA members went to Indianapolis, Indiana for National Convention. They had to leave the school at 5 a.m. and then load onto a charter bus for a long drive to the hotel. The next day, they toured the Indianapolis Raceway, and that night, they went to a Garth Brooks concert with Ned Ledoux as the opener. The FFA members got to see the national officers give their retiring speeches and meet with the state officers at City Barbecue. It was a very fun and tiring trip. Some of the students that went are planning on going back next year. Now on to a homecoming segment with Jessica.
There's no place like homecoming. Speaking of which, homecoming was not too long ago, on September 28th to be specific. First, we had a wonderful parade with performances by the dance team and the drill team. Dance company and the drill team. As well as an insight from the cross-country, debate, band, and tennis teams. Then on to the homecoming game, we had a lovely speech by Wyatt Kipfer. We were met with previous winners and the candidate here. Congrats to Aaron Hamill and Dalton Brumfield. I'll let you watch that now if you want.
You can keep me down in my seat. I got fire under my feet, and I feel it in my heartbeat. Oh, look out of the face if you can't take it. I dreamed in a stumble.
Thank you, Jessica. If you want to see the whole ceremony, you can go see it on our YouTube channel. Probably like up here. I don't know. Anyways, see ya.
Homecoming ceremony. I am Wyatt Kipfer, the student body president. Tonight, let's reminisce in the past. In this year in history, the Beatles were still going strong. This year's fall homecoming king is Dalton Brumfield. And the 2018 Fall Homecoming Queen is Erin Hamill.
Or a joke.
Yeah. It's like going to church, you went in purple.
September 28th, the students and members of the school and community gathered for a dedication to the Bronze Tiger outside of the high school. The Tiger Band played while everyone was setting up. Randy Carlson introduced the Tiger. He then introduced Tracy Lebo, who is a digital arts teacher here at CCCHS, but also the designer of the Tiger. She talks about how the sculpture came to be and thanks everyone who helped make her dream become a reality.
The journey of the Tiger, I get to share a little bit of that with you. I thought, wow, maybe they could make us a tiger. And so the conversation began. And it was a very long conversation. I began planning and fundraising. Some of you may have helped me sell cookie dough and wrapping paper and pizzas, whatever. And I had a lot of fun. But it really took off when I had a conversation with the CCCH alumni, Mr. Randy Carlson. Could you give him a round of applause?
After some tears, she invites Randy to speak more about the Tiger. He proceeds to list off and recognize some of the people in the community that helped with the project.
I can't really tell who all is and is not in the crowd. So do we have, first of all, let's recognize Superintendent Mike Folks. Principal Bud Young. You know, this came together as a community school effort. We had permission from the school to do this, not just permission, but the blessing, you know, but this could never be a part of any taxpayer dollars. It couldn't be any part of school budget. It had to be privately funded, you know, and so it's an interesting combination of all of those groups working together. We had a great committee. Besides myself, which Tracy introduced me as Randy Carlson, that's my name today. All right. Also, Kyle Bauer, Tracy Lebo, Dallas Bergstrom. I don't think he's made it yet. He's coming this weekend. Is he here, Dal? Ginger Walker was part of it. Matt Weller. I saw him. Where's Matt? Back there. Okay, so that was our committee. As well as
After that, Kyle was brought up to talk about how all of the funds were brought together, along with arranging most everything else that has to do with getting a sculpture in front of a high school. He proceeds to list off some of the people in the community that helped with the project. After that, Kyle's brought up to talk about how all the funds were brought together along with arranging most everything else that has to do with getting a sculpture in front of a school. The orange ribbon is then cut, officially dedicating the Tiger to the Clay Center Community High School. Before the dedication, I had interviewed Dr. Richard Bergen, who worked on his sculpture with his son, Richard. He talks about how the Bronze Tiger came to be along with his favorite and most popular sculpture, Ad Astra, which is also made out of bronze. Here is that very interesting interview. What has been your favorite sculpture to make?
Oh, I don't know. Everyone is my favorite when I'm making it. Probably the most famous one is Ad Astra on top of the state capitol building.
And how long did it take you to make that particular sculpture?
Several years.
Where was your inspiration from for that?
The inspiration? Well, it took a lot of thought. What should go on the Capitol building? So I researched all the capitals in the country. Nebraska had the best one. A farmer sowing wheat seeds. So I decided whatever goes on the Capitol dome is going to have to be a figure that's doing something. Because that was the only one that was doing something. He was working.
Interesting.
Then I started researching what would be fitting for the area where the Capitol building is. what is the history on that area. I looked up the history, it was Indians. So I decided it has to be an Indian on the top of the dome. And he has to be doing something. So,
Makes sense.
bow and arrow, what's he going to shoot at? Well, when I was a Boy Scout, the North Star would always find your way home.
Yeah.
The Indians call it the Home Star. So they knew about it before the Boy Scouts did. So then I decided, well, we have to have an Indian up there with a bow and arrow. They called me up, said, you're gonna win the competition to do the Capitol Dome sculpture. I was in the studio. I said to my son, Rich, I said, hey, strip down, get up on that stool. You're gonna be the model for the Indian on the Capitol Dome. We had a little toy bow and arrow. He was aiming at the North Star, and that's how it started.
So what made you decide to become a sculptor?
Boy, that's a long story. You have to go way back to 1936 or so. My mom took a trip to Europe because she said there's a big war coming and they're going to blow everything up over there and you won't be able to see any of the artwork. So she went over there to look at the artwork. And there's a famous sculpture of a little boy urinating in a pond.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it, but while she was gone, I decided to make a little sculpture of a boy urinating in the pond. So I dug a hole in the ground, shaped like a little boy. I put concrete in there. Then I did some plumbing, flipped him over, and did the other side of him with concrete so he was three-dimensional. When my mom got home, I said, I want to show you something. I had it hooked up to the garden hose, turned it on, and he was just like the one in Italy.
Wow. So what was the process of making the bronze tiger outside of the school?
Oh, man. There's a lot of ways you can do bronze. And probably the best method and the method that was used for the tiger was the lost wax process, where you make a model of wax, then you encase it in ceramic material, and then you burn out the wax and you pour in the bronze, and then you take it out of the mold, and there you have it. And then you have a lot of pieces. You have to weld them all together, and it's complicated, but it's doable.
And how long did it take from when Miss Lebo told you about the idea until it was put in?
We were putting up the Wildcat at K-State. Miss Lebo came over to me and said, could you do a tiger for us? I said, yeah. That was 17 years ago.
Wow.
I have to give her credit for hanging in there.
Yeah. How many times do you think she came and talked or visited about the tiger?
Oh, numerous. We had a long talk the first time she visited with me. But the problem with doing this is it takes money.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of little projects, I made sketches and prints and they sold them and framed them and, the students did a lot of work. Well, eventually, I guess they got the money one way or another.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
Welcome to the sports section of the show. I am Damien. On September 25th, the varsity volleyball team lost to Concordia 2-0. Concordia won both sets by a score of 25-21 and 25-16. On September 29th, the Clay Center varsity volleyball team traveled to Concordia for a tournament. The Lady Tigers played Smith Center and lost by a score of 25-20, and then played against Beloit and lost by a score of 25-14. The Lady Tigers played the Marysville Bulldogs in the tourney and lost the set by a score of 25-19. In the consolation, the Lady Tigers played Minneapolis and won by a set score of 25-16. Then they played the Bulldogs in the consolation finals and lost by a set score of 25-20. On October 1st, the Lady Golf team went to Hayes and placed 7th with a score of 580. The varsity tennis team traveled to Abilene for the league meet. Number 1 singles Ella Girton went 2 for 3 on the night and placed 4th. Number 1 doubles Caitlin Kramer and Jay Paget went 0-5 for the night. Number 2 singles Tegan Stratton was 4-1 for the evening and placed 2nd. Number 2 doubles Emily Sweet and Jaylee Calloway were 3-2 for the evening and also placed 2nd. The Lady Tiger varsity volleyball team had a home meet with the Abilene Cowboys. The Lady Tigers lost both sets by a score of 25-21 and 26-24. On October 4th, the varsity Lady Tiger Golf went to Rossville and came up with a 7th place finish. On October 6th, Tegan Stratton qualified for state with a 6th place finish. On October 9th, the varsity volleyball team traveled to Marysville and lost both sets 27-25 and 25-16. Both boys and girls cross-country team traveled to Salina on October 6th. The varsity boys placed 4th while the varsity girls placed 5th. And then October 19th, the varsity football team traveled to Newton to Bethel College to play Heston, but lost that game 54-0. On October 16th, which was senior night for the Lady Tigers varsity volleyball team, won the triangular when they beat Northern Heights by a score of 25-13. Then they beat Harrington for a final set of 25-18. On October 27th, the girls and Jarrett qualified for state. The girls team took 3rd as a whole. Karn placed 16th with a time of 20 minutes and 57 seconds. Emma placed 30th with a time of 21 minutes and 39 seconds. Katie placed 39th with a time of 22 minutes and 10 seconds. Zoe placed 49th with a time of 23 minutes and 43 seconds. Addie placed 51st with a time of 22 minutes and 56 seconds. Anna placed 81st with a time of 24:22. Jacqueline placed 84th with a time of 24:38. Jerry placed 6th with a time of 16:54. Congrats to the cross-country teams and Jarrett Fitzemeyer for placing 6th at state. Thanks for watching this episode of Tiger News Television. See you next month.